thinking out loud about this plan, because I know a lot of it was factored in. And I think in my last video, I was on the beach trying to think like, okay, the unconventional lifestyle. But then I realized there still needs to be practicality to my plans and life plans. So it's not necessarily just having like, okay, even though this is the plan I'm going for, it's having multiple plans and figuring out ways to build up my life in a way that's like, I still would say like fluid enough for it to shift in the times. But I made so much mistakes while trying the 12-week year. And one of my biggest mistakes I can say is I would hyperfixate on one goal and hyperfixate on numbers, specifically with my second thing I was working on. So with each thing I was working on, the first thing was with like my health, wellness, beauty, like more of the physical sense of that type of desire. And the second one was more related to content creation. Third was related to entrepreneurship. And the goal that I think I made the most progress on last time was the first goal, and I felt like there was more ease with that goal, and maybe because how much I value like health and wellness. But with the second goal, which was content creation and building up my platforms, something about it that was hard, because it was not necessarily limiting beliefs, because I do feel like with limiting beliefs, it's more like you don't believe you could do something. Whereas I think my issue was like I was hyperfixating, and then I was like kind of, I guess, bothered by the stagnancy, and I didn't know where the stagnancy was coming from. Was it like the topics? Was it the style of the video? Was it time I posted? Like, there's so much factors. And then I started to get in my head, and then I realized like, oh, this thing that someone told me, I'm still internalizing that. But it's not necessarily a limiting beliefs, but maybe it's like, I realized I was internalized, like worrying like, what if I'm being too boring? Am I being a perfectionist about this? With the second goal, I was so hyper fixated, and then with the third goal, I think that because I was so hyper fixated on the second goal, I haven't started entrepreneurship the way I wanted to and take that leap that way, even though I had a business plan for the longest time. Because one summer I took a class just for the gigs and the vibes, but it was like starting a small business, and that was the course. So I have like an idea. I had this idea for a while, and now I have the time to act on that idea. And there were ways like I was like working towards it, but for some reason something was holding back. Maybe it was because I was like, okay, I'm not making progress in this goal, so how am I going to make progress in that goal? So it was kind of like this weird thing of measurement and stuff like that. So I guess I kind of wanted to talk about that. I don't know, my thoughts are everywhere. This is why my thoughts are really everywhere. I guess what I'm saying is I just wanted to kind of like, I guess, voice out my mistakes and things I not necessarily regret, but like just things I've been feeling about my glow up journey. Because like I was saying, I have theories on glowing up, right? That glowing up is a science. I don't know if I talked about this on here, but I know I did a video on my TikTok like a while back. Like, there are such things as glow up resources, and the things I listed was, I listed 4 things. It was monetary abundance, non-monetary abundance, time, and energy. And I have a theory that you just need to have 2 of those things to really glow up, and it's not necessarily about monetary abundance. In that sense, let me explain. Monetary abundance is pretty obvious. That's about money and stuff like that. But non-monetary abundance is more like a support system. And when I say support system, it's like, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, because it's just having people support your dreams, and I guess also who you know. that can look like different things. It's not always like in the sense of connections, like if your family was connected to people, but it's also in the sense of like, let's say your mental health was not doing well, or if you're like me where it's clear like your health, something about your health is just off, and if your parents will like allow you to have the time to figure that aspect out so you can take a break, if you can figure out those things without the extra pressure of other things, and you could just focus on that sole thing. If it's like that, or even having friends who share your content, who like gives you actual feedback and critique, another sense of abundance, or like you guys plan things together and you work on like how to elevate your lives, and you talk about it and work with each other on how to do that. That would all fall under like non-monetary abundance, in my opinion. And of course, time and having enough time to do things and to create your dream life and to build yourself up that way. And energy, I'm kind of just testing like how true it is. Like, do you need money to glow up? Because in my opinion, the answer is no. If you center your glow up around just looks and then products, that's where the money comes in. But I also think glowing up is also not just, it depends on your goals, you know? When I was talking about that girl's video is because her glow up really centered around her physical looks. And that's why it felt like it ruined her life, because once her looks changed again, she started to feel insecure. She started to have all these like negative emotions, and because her security relied mainly on how she looked, right? So one thing I've been learning in just the journey is there is so much value in what you choose your security in. So right now my security is simply trying, and I feel like as long as I'm trying and experimenting and still working at things, even if it's not perfect, I'm trying so hard to get rid of like the idea of perfection and just simply focus on showing up and doing what I can in that moment. Because obviously life is fluid. Sometimes you'll have more time, sometimes you'll have less time. Sometimes your energy will be great because you've been taking care of yourself and you feel healthy, and other times you don't have the energy. I don't know if you can take anything from this, but I hope you can, because my thoughts are messy. I'm gonna be honest. Like, that's why I think I needed to talk, and maybe voicing these things will help someone. So catch you later. Okay, bye.